This session is presenting the BEd in Technology, Engineering and Graphics for post-primary teachers. So essentially to educate teachers to become second level teachers of those three subjects: Technology, Engineering and Graphics, or DCG, Design and Communication Graphics as it's known at senior cycle. So you might be asking yourself, why would I be teaching? Why would I do this course? Why would I become a teacher? And if you're fascinated about the learning process and cognition and how people think and learn, if you're passionate about helping each other achieve their potential and working with young people to make sure that they're enabling themselves to have bright futures, inspiring the future generations of our young people in our country, and if you want to have a positive impact and actually enable people within society to actually fulfill their potential, well then teaching might just be for you. It's a very fulfilling profession that you can achieve all of those types of goals through. And then more specifically, why choose this program? Well, this program in particular helps to inspire pupils through your passion for the subject areas of technology, engineering and graphics, graphical education, in terms of DCG. Oh yeah, so Paul, my co-course director from DCU, is also present and more than happy to answer any questions in the chat function as we go along. So getting back to the presentation, our whole subject area is about technological capability, and one element of that has been an innovator. It's been a disruptor. It's trying to use technology for betterment and to help society through the use of technology and educate young people in terms of the positive impact, also the negative impacts, so that they can make valued judgments, and also to develop key transferable skills that are being constantly spoken about in terms of leadership, communication skills, problem solving skills, awareness of environmental sustainability, creativity, innovation, and these types of skills that are not only applicable in the world of engineering, but you hear them being spoken about in terms of the business world, etc. as well. So really important transferable skills that can be developed through our subject area. So what's unique about this program? Well, it's a really innovative partnership between the two institutions that came together to develop what we see to be a really disruptive offering in terms of the future of technology teacher education in this country. You qualify to teach through a concurrent degree program. So within just 4 years, you are ready to go out into the secondary school system and teach 3 subjects, which is actually a rare enough thing from an undergraduate degree program to be actually equipped to teach 3 subjects. And in this case, it's technology, engineering, and DCG, them being the leaving cert subjects. You're also fully qualified to teach the junior cycle subjects as well. You can see on the bottom of this slide that our program was subject to final accreditation by the Teaching Council of Ireland, but thankfully that has gone through the accreditation process, and we're in the final steps of finalising the accreditation process, which has gone really, really positively, and we've got great reviews from the Teaching Council in terms of the work that we've done into the creation of the programme. So we're really proud to announce that as well. Okay, so to announce or to outline what you will actually study on the programme, I don't know, Paul, if you want to come in and talk a little bit about the education side or DCU's offerings, and I can come back in to talk about the technology side.
Certainly I will, Ronan. Yeah, so good evening, whoever is here watching it. So Paul is my name, Paul Grimes. I'm here from the DCU end of things. So when you're in DCU, so this program is split jointly between TUS in Athlone and DCU here. So for your first 2 years, and Ronan will talk a bit more about this, you'll be studying the more of the discipline subjects, so more of the subjects of technology and engineering and graphics. But then when you go to your 3rd and 4th year in DCU, you'll be leaning a bit more towards the education side of things. And part of that is 2 relatively long blocks of school placement, where you'll be working more or less full-time in schools. And that happens for half of your 3rd year, which will be semester 2 of your 3rd year, and half of your 4th year. So semester 2 of your 4th year. And that's where you'll get really important hands-on experience of working with students in schools and supporting teachers in schools and getting support from teachers in schools. Teaching all 3 of the subjects. You'll also be looking more generally at education modules, so things like psychology of learning, learning more about how people learn about things. There'll be modules in sociology and philosophy, but also then more pedagogy modules, so looking in a bit more detail of the learning of these particular subjects. So more of that does come in towards your third and fourth year, and that happens in DCU, in the Institute of Education at DCU, which is on St. Pat's campus. And then for your first 2 years leading up to that, you still have a focus on teaching and a focus on engineering, but learning a lot more about those subjects of technology, engineering, and graphics. Ronan, I might go back then to you for those.
Absolutely. So yeah, exactly. So as Paul just pointed out, the first 2 years of the program based down in our bespoke technology teacher education facility in Toos on the Athlone campus. We've just completed our first semester before Christmas with our first cohort of students, and as Paul was outlining there, we have specific streams that address these subject areas. So we have a technology education stream, an engineering education stream, and a design and a graphic stream. So 2 bespoke streams that address all of these things. The modules include foundational modules that look at things like material science, which is a fundamental foundational area to understand if you're to effectively and efficiently engage in the design process within the subjects of engineering and technology. We also look at things like mechanics. There are bespoke design modules. We're very lucky to have a design department within our faculty, and design lecturers come and deliver design modules around design thinking, designerly thinking. How can we show empathy towards others through the design process and use technology to really enhance the lives of others? And then we have a graphic stream that deals with the fundamental knowledge and skills associated with that subject area. We try to keep the modules output focused, which means our subjects by their nature are practical subjects, so they're project based, and so a lot of the time in the modules in TUS is spent producing artifacts, producing systems, and it tends to be a really highly motivated learning environment because of that. People working together in that type of environment to produce project work and outputs that will lend themselves to these people bringing them out into the classroom to teach young students at second level about our subject area. So next slide, I presume, Paul, you're done.
I think so. Yeah. A bit more. There's a couple of things I might mention. We move on a little bit. I suppose we'll just re-emphasize then you'll be based full-time in Athlone for the first 2 years. So that's in the Athlone campus of Technological University of the Shannon. And then in third and fourth year, you'll be based in DCU, Institute of Education. But a large part of that third and fourth year is your school placement. And again, we'll support you to get kind of schools that are convenient for you as well. So it could be the case where you might get schools closer to home in those third and fourth years then as well, depending on what part of the country you're from. So we will support you to get schools that are convenient for you, which might help with things like accommodation and commuting, those kind of things.
Okay, so to talk to year 1 and 2. So as I've already said, all lectures located on the Athlone campus. So we like to call ourselves expert educators. We're all qualified second level teachers with second level teaching experience, but also quite a bit of experience in terms of technology teacher education, having worked in different third level institutes offering these courses, and also being school placement mentors to student teachers out in schools taking these or studying to be teachers in this subject area. So you can see that picture there shows that dedicated technology, engineering and graphics education, teacher education space that we've developed and only opened officially last September for the first time to this cohort of students who you see in the picture. And so we're really, really happy with how the space works. It's a really nice, airy, it's just naturally a motivational space to work in due to the nature of it. And we're very lucky to get really good funding from the department to have really high-end, cutting-edge technology there. So anything we need is at our fingertips, and it's a really nice place to work in. And then you can see there also some of the modules that I spoke to on the previous slide include graphics modules, models and modeling module, which is a design-oriented module that I spoke about. That's delivered by one of our design lecturers. Design learning, so specifically, what is that if you read any of the second level subject specifications, a lot of the talk about the goals of technology education is design learning, design thinking, designerly thinking. So that type of thinking that actually produces a useful artifact at the end. And then we have modules that look at technology pedagogy as well. So specifically, what are the relevant and effective techniques that we can use in the technology classroom to effectively educate young people through technology education. And we also do micro-teaching modules, which is where you will actually engage with your peers and practice your teaching before you actually are let out to second level schools. So it's getting to practice your trade. It's making sure that you're a confident teacher going out before you stand up at the top of the classroom, and ironing out any creases that there might be in terms of helping you develop strategies and implement those strategies so that you find that to be a pleasant experience when you go out and teach in a second level classroom. Year 3 and 4, I'll go back to you, Paul.
Yeah, again, this builds on, I suppose, mostly those pedagogy modules and those micro-teaching modules that you'll do in years 1 and 2, with a bit more of a focus now on education. So general education theories, curriculum studies, those kind of things about assessment. But also you will still be looking at those technology pedagogy modules in more detail. So the specifics of teaching the technology subjects. You'll see also here in the Institute of Education at DCU, we're a centre of excellence for teaching and teacher education. And you'll have access to all of the facilities that comes with. And you'll see a picture here. And this is the Lego studio that we have here on campus, which is used in a lot of our teacher education programs and has a focus on the BEd in technology, engineering and graphics as well, where you'll kind of see where these kind of things can be put into place in classrooms and how Lego can be used as a really important pedagogical tool when learning about engineering and technology. We also have a Minecraft innovation room, so looking at the use of Minecraft and that as a way of developing technological skills, learning about space, graphics, all of those things are part of it, and they're all situated here on campus also. And then I think on the next slide we talk a little bit about professional placement. And like I mentioned earlier, it's really putting into practice all these things you've been learning about in your first 2 years and in that first semester of third year. Then you'll come back on fourth year, reflect on that, learn a bit more about education theories, those kind of things. And then for your final semester of the program, so that's the last 3 to 4 months of your final year, you'll be out in schools again, which is a really good time to be out in schools because it can often be the case in teacher education programs that school that you're in your final block of placement is where you might get your first job if you kind of make a good enough impression and get on well with the staff and the principal in the school. So it's good timing for that last block of placement as well. But there's lots of support through that, through visits from placement tutors, through your micro teaching, and that's all to support you through the years of your placement. There's a couple of opportunities. Will I say a bit about these?
Yeah, work away. Yeah.
On internship and mobilities. So there's an opportunity in your third year, in the summer of your third year, to apply to participate in the STEM teacher internship program. It's known as the STINT program. And this is a paid internship, and it gives you an opportunity to work with a technology company and kind of have a look at, okay, you're going to be a teacher of these subjects, but what do these subjects look like then in the real world? How are you going to talk to your future students about what they might be doing if they are an engineer or they are working in technology or in graphics? And there's also international mobility, so exchange opportunities in second year to visit a collaborating university in Europe as well. So kind of a study exchange trip for a couple of weeks with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to reiterate on that, through our research activities, we collaborate with a lot of European, even American universities that offer technology teacher education, and we really want to strengthen those links so that our students do have opportunity to engage with that type of international mobility throughout the 4 years of the program. The entry requirements, I can speak to these a little bit, Paul, if you're okay with that. Yeah. So minimum of 6 Leaving Cert subjects, grade 06H7, and then of course to include either English or Irish and the subject maths. And then your maths grade is pitched at 03H7. The mathematical content of the program isn't exactly very challenging, but there are elements of engineering and technology subjects that would include elements of maths that needs this entry requirement to be met. And then applicants must present at least 2 subjects at grade H5 as well. So it's at a nice point threshold after the first intake of 402 points. If anyone is considering becoming a technology teacher, it's also important to say that it's not a requirement from this list to have studied all or actually any of the technology subjects. So from day one, when you come to the Athlone campus to study these subject areas, we start from the foundational level. So for instance, last September, we would have students come onto the program who had never done engineering or never done graphics and maybe did technology for Leaving Cert, but we start at the start with everybody so that we build up that foundational knowledge from the start of the degree program. So it's nothing to worry about if you don't have one or all of the subjects. And that's the only thing to add to that. You can see that there's 20 places offered on the program, so it's a nice manageable group where you get to know your class members. You're not lost within a very big class group. You're constantly working in that practical learning environment, so you get to work closely not only with your lecturers but also with your peers. And I noticed that just by the nature of the learning environment and the practical learning environment, that people tend to be moving around that practical classroom, talking to each other about their ideas, sharing ideas, critiquing each other's ideas, that there are real friendships formed within the class already, even after one semester with our first group. So it's really encouraging to see, and it's a nice working environment. So that covers the entry requirements. And then finally to say that if there's any questions at the minute, please keep typing them into the chat here. We'll be here for the next few minutes to answer any of them, but also to take down our email addresses, and we would be more than happy to get back to you with any additional information. Is that okay, Paul?
Yeah, I think that's it. I suppose I'll reiterate the nice thing about having a small program like this is that you learn so much from it, but you really get friends that will kind of stay with you long after graduation as well. I came through a program similar to this myself, but in maths and physics that's with smaller numbers, and it's really such a difference compared to some of those much larger courses.
Yeah, I think it's the nature of the subject area as well. It's not a very theoretical subject area where you're studying in a silo, just getting through the theoretical content. It's a subject area that encourages collaboration, encourages that kind of critiquing of each other's work and sharing ideas rather than trying to keep them to yourself, so that you can actually improve on your ideas and work towards positive outputs.
Yeah.
Is the course full this year, and will it be hard to get a place? So this year was a little bit different in terms of it was our first intake. So we actually capped it at a lower number, and we took on a few additional students because we saw the demand. It's very hard to forecast what the demand will be for any program. We imagine that the points will stay in or around where they were at that 402 mark, but that's something that we simply can't guarantee. We're offering 20 places, so the way our CAO system works is that the top 20 people who meet that threshold will be accepted onto the program. So it's very difficult for us to forecast. But our thinking is that we can't see the points jumping much higher than what they possibly than what they currently are. But we hope that if it's something that you really want to pursue, Orwin, that you study hard and work hard on your Leaving Cert subject, so that you leave yourself with every opportunity to come and join us in September 2023. Good stuff. Glad you found it useful, Orwin, and please take down our email addresses, because I know I'll get off this presentation and I'll think about things that I forgot to say, and I'm sure you might have questions that you've forgotten to ask. So those email addresses are by far the best way of getting myself or Paul. I suppose, Paul, if you want to know about some of the DCU elements of the program, and myself if you're looking at more of the subject specific. But We have weekly meetings. Well, most weeks we meet up to discuss things. So you can fire questions at either of us, and we'll have the answer to you in a number of days at the latest. But we should get back to you pretty quick.
Yeah, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you in September as well, Arwen.
Will be great. Also, like to say, I've said it at the open days, that if anyone is ever passing through Athlone or wants to come and see the facilities in Athlone, every day is almost an open day. There's no reason why you can't come in and wander around the Faculty of Engineering and come and find us in the Technology Education Department and come and see the facilities that are on offer there. So